Columbia Business School offers its applicants an eclectic mix of short answers and essays to respond to, from one that offers you a mere 50 characters to another that gives you 500 words to discuss your goals. Throughout, there are good opportunities for the school to get to know more about your desire to be at CBS in particular and what you'll bring to the class. Let's do a deep dive into the CBS 2025-2026 essays. First, they have a short answer question. What is your immediate post-MBA professional goal? 50 characters maximum. So those are characters, not words, characters. And that was 47 characters just there. Basically, CBS wants a no-nonsense statement on what you plan to do after earning your MBA. They want to know that you have a plan, and rest assured you can be quite particular in such a tight space. Value investing at a boutique Manhattan firm. That's 45 characters. Rotational program at an innovative manufacturer. 49 characters. You get it. You can do it. Turning to Essay 1. Through your resume and recommendations, we have a clear sense of your professional path to date. What are your career goals over the next 3 to 5 years, and what is your long-term dream job? This is a surprisingly difficult task for many applicants. 500 words on career plans, especially after getting them down to 50 characters, can be a challenge. You could start with a paragraph of context to lay the groundwork for your post-MBA position. And then you have the words left to not just name the position you want, but also explain how you'll grow in that position as well. Also, with a 3 to 5 year plan, you can talk about a progression or even a change. Maybe you start out in consulting, acquire specific skills, and then make a transition to industry. Of course, the job itself has to be specific to you, but the progression and connection to your skills is what's critical. Someone reading this doesn't have to think, wow, I've never heard of this path before. Instead, he or she needs to think, I'm excited for this person. They're going to do it. Of course, there's one more element of this essay. Long-term dream job. Feel free to dream and dream big, but don't make it unrealistic. You need to follow the path that you've laid out and then share the best possible outcome on that path. You don't need to be embarrassed to shoot for the C-suite or for public office, but these goals can't come from out of the blue. They have to be related to skills and talents that you'll possess or you plan to develop. If you get all of that done and you still have some words left, don't just add fluff. We've seen successful applicants use those extra words to explain why they fit with CBS, connecting CBS with the skills they need to develop to succeed. So this shouldn't just be some CBS is great add-on, but if you have the words and have the resources that you truly value, then you can relate them at the end of this essay to CBS. Okay, Essay 2. Please share a specific example of how you made a team more collaborative, more inclusive, or fostered a greater sense of community within an organization. This essay question is the only one that CBS tweaked from last year. In 2024-25, the school gave applicants the option of responding to one of 2 essay prompts. This was one of the 2. But this year, you're no longer given a choice. Without wading into a political debate, last year's question truly emphasized diversity, and Columbia is now under a microscope. They needed to change the prompt. Even with only this prompt, you still have latitude in choosing the story you want to share. You've been a part of many teams and have fostered inclusivity and community in many different spheres. Therefore, be sure to consider all of the areas of your life, personal, community, professional, to uncover your strongest and most relevant stories. Note, the admissions committee does not stipulate that you must have been the titular head of your group. You can reveal leadership through synergizing ideas as the least senior member of your team or being a diplomat on a fractured community board. Of course, you can reveal traditional leadership from the top 2. I just want to broaden the scope for you. Most importantly, of course, CBS wants evidence that you've created or encouraged a more collaborative environment, where promoting inclusivity was central to engendering effective teamwork and ensuring that each member's voice was heard. Be sure to set the stage and then describe your specific actions, but even more crucial, explain what your motivations were, what decisions you made, and what steps you took to influence the team and the outcome. This means you must illustrate the values and thought process behind your efforts, in addition to clearly conveying your actions and their outcome. Now, for Essay 3. We believe Columbia Business School is a special place with a collaborative learning environment in which students feel a sense of belonging, agency, and partnership academically, culturally, and professionally. How would you co-create your optimal MBA experience at CBS? Please be specific, 250 words. Let's focus on the key word here, co-create. CBS doesn't want a passenger, they want a pilot. They want to know that you're coming to their program with a plan and that you understand how and where you can contribute. This doesn't mean that you need to be vigorously asserting yourself and explaining which clubs you're going to take over. Instead, you need to show that you'll be engaged with your activities. If you plan to make CBS's international resources core to your optimal experience, then don't just say that you plan to go on a Chazen global immersion. Know which country you want to visit and have a vision for how you might bring your inquisitive mind or ability to quickly forge new relationships or any other value that you manifest to the trip itself to contribute to the experience. Of course, global immersion is just an example. You need to identify your own academic, cultural, or professional areas of interest. But when you do so, you need to reveal that spirit of both giving and receiving. And lastly, the optional essay. If you wish to provide further information or additional context around your application to the admissions committee, please upload a brief explanation of any area of concern in your academic record or personal history. This does not need to be a formal essay. You may submit bullet points. Maximum 500 words. Take advantage of this option if you have something left to explain. If a mystery or problem lurks, low GMAT, explain it and show your quant strengths. Tough semester, explain what caused it, no excuses. Time off, why did you take it? How did you make it valuable to yourself or others? The list goes on. CBS offers you 500 words, but you don't need to use all of them. Generally, you just need to state the problem, own up to it, and hopefully show some growth. You might use half of the word count or less. That said, if you have more than one problem to explain, and that does happen, you might need the full 500. And you may still get in. The school gives you the space to explain a problem because they want to listen, learn, and give you your best shot. If you're still unsure whether you should write an optional essay, check out On Track by mbaMission, our on-demand MBA application course, which brings you through the entire application process and is a 19-lesson module on optional essays, including tons of examples. Now that we're at the end of our Columbia Business School essay tips, I'll also mention that On Track features 2 in-depth modules dedicated to CBS. I review everything you need to know about CBS and help you craft winning essays, short answers, and resumes. You can even practice your CBS interviews. Start by taking our 2-minute questionnaire to build your custom learning path. And know that we have a free option for you to check out as well. Just sign up today. And for now, don't miss our next video on CBS versus NYU Stern.